Good evening, Saturday night here late at the time of recording. Welcome to Caribou Weather Dude YouTube channel. I'm Joey, only at 3,953 feet above sea level in Wells, British Columbia here, 53 degrees north in the Caribou Mountains. Loving every bit of it. Winter time today. Had the sled dogs in town for the mail run. You can see that video at the end of this. I'll have it linked there for you to click on it. And it's been very, very cold, very, very cold. People have been asking me, where is the snow, Joe? Where did the snow go, Joe? So we're going to talk about that tonight because I got some answers for you. It's coming back. It is. Just got to wait a little longer, but the snow will come back with a vengeance, I think, before the end of winter. Okay, let's go. There it is. This is bad news. My God.
Falling out right now.
Anything could happen. Get on! Wow. I'll watch the video later. They dry mopping this. So hit like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend. Yeah, bring some people to the channel if you can, and hit the thanks button if you so wish. And welcome to the show once again. We'll keep this a little more brief than usual. Get right to the details here. So it has been cold. It has been cold. In fact, on February 7th, we had some records set. A new cold record in Abbotsford. Daily record, 11.2 below. The last one was set in 1989. They've been keeping records since 1944 there. See a couple more of these, like Gibson's just edging out its old one now at 7.9 below. Hope seeing 8.6, just nudging out its old record set in 1948. And Seashell, minus 7.9, has its old record set in 2014. Beaten, they've been keeping records in Seashell since 1956. Meanwhile, over in PEI, we're not going to talk about anywhere else but BC tonight, I think. But warm weather record set there in PEI, 4.1 degrees there, set in 2020 was the old one, 3.4. So here is the big picture right now. Over in the Great Lakes, we have a nice strong storm passing up through that way, but we're not going to talk about that today. Just going to keep it to BC. High pressure established off the coast there, keeping things on the cold side for us still. And in the next bunch of days, if we just fast forward ahead and just looking at cold temperatures, you can see staying on the chillier side still, although not nearly as cold as it's been, thankfully. But we got some nights still ahead of us that are going to be a little chilly yet. So look at that. Sunday night is going to be particularly cold in central interior and particularly the north. So we'll watch the big picture here for a little bit and see how that high pressure just sort of sits there for a long time, blocking that weather off the coast, moving it away from us, saying, no, you cannot go here for at least the next bunch of days, and keeping it still on the slightly below seasonal for most of us. And for a couple of us, may still see yet a few more daily temperature records broken. A strong storm out in the Aleutians. So you can see the Pacific is angry. There's anger out there. We just need to find a mechanism to bring it into BC. And we're just going to watch for a little while and see what happens here. Yeah, I was watching the Canucks and Leafs game tonight. It's absolutely ridiculous. They got 10 guys on the Canucks guy now named Pettersson. 5 of them are named Elias Pettersson. It's absolutely insane. It's so hard to figure out what's going on. Maybe that's their tactic. And there was this big discussion they had with the general managers and all the president and the staff and all hockey operations in Vancouver. Which guy should we keep? Should we keep JT Miller or should we keep Elias Pettersson? And they said, well, we're going to keep Elias Pettersson. In fact, I'm so solid on the idea of keeping Elias Pettersson that let's try to make our entire team Pettersson, and eventually, at this rate, there'll be 23 guys in the Canucks bench there named Pettersson, and it's going to be absolutely confusing for everybody, and it'll be like this gimmick they had. Remember back then, the Canucks, they had 2 guys that looked exactly the same. They had the same name, and their numbers were pretty similar, and they had the same name, Sedin, and like no one could figure out which one was which, and it was absolutely disastrous for teams trying to play against Vancouver. They could never figure out who was who, and that's the game, I think, in Vancouver. Pettersson, everybody. Pettersson to Pettersson. Yeah, Pettersson shoots, and now a nice play by Pettersson, and he passes to Pettersson, who is going to, Pettersson is really playing well tonight. Which Pettersson's playing well? Doesn't matter. All of them are. Pettersson said high pressure, still staying there Monday night. Look at that. Still dry in BC. Let's just go a little bit further ahead here. And we could talk about Pettersson all night. Which one? I don't know. All of them. We could talk about Pettersson's all night. But as you can see, still staying a little bit dry. Maybe a few flurries at times for a couple of years in the province this week. But no, look at now every day Here's a system. Here's a system. Is it a game changer? Well, look at that over on the East Coast. They're going to be really socked in this week. They're very stormy out there. Look at all the thunderstorm potential up the coast. That's fantastic. Fantastic. I wish I was there for that instead of all the cold we're going to see in BC. All the cold. Yep. And it's like really fun to make weather videos when it's cold. It's like you sit here and it's cold in your own house and you got to tell people like, hey, and they know, it's like, what's the weather today? It's cold. Yeah. Make a weather video about it and talk about how cold it is, Joey. Well, like it's only so many days of the winter you can do that and feel like, your brain is stimulated as a creator. Oh, California taking some rain in that atmospheric river there. Good for you. Look at that. That should be a big deluge for California this week. And that's probably going to change their fire story, I think, for a while to come. Yeah, look at that. That's some major precip into the mountains. See some of those reds there. The reds are always symbolic of ridiculous. When you have 17.8 centimeters per hour snow in 3 hours, I should say. So over a 3 hour period, then switch it over to millimeters. As you can see, yeah, look at that. Even Southern California finally getting sustained, consistent rain. All the American West taking precip. Good for them. And, maybe a little in the north of BC, but no, really not. We're still staying dry. You can see that high pressure trying to own us, but look it has broken down since we stopped looking. This guy went through and he just sort of changed the game for everything and opened the door, I think, for this guy to maybe take a run at us. So now we're looking, a week out, right? So who gets exactly what? When we're looking at this model, we're looking at 6, 7, 8, 10 days out. So take that for, into consideration that this is going to change somewhat. I'm sure different models have different looks. We're just looking at the ECMWF right now, but if we're at Saturday looking out and we say, let's click on the GFS modeling and see what it says. Does it more or less agree? Yeah, it seems to more or less agree that we have a good system there, and has a little bit colder for us, though, the GFS. So I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I like what the ECMWF was saying for temperature a bit more. Still, we have sort of consistent agreement on the idea that we have these lows out here that are going to try to push into the province. Let's go. Come on, let's try. Come on. You can do it. Now we're a week out. Finally starting to get some precip in southern BC. So this is the hope. And we'll see. That's pretty atmospheric river like. We just saw a pretty good one hit California. So like, is this going to be a case of all too much at once? I don't know. It's too far out to guess yet. But we have some signals on the horizon for major snowfall in BC. Big time precip on the coast. Looks like a wind event. Looks like these lows are going to dig in, help deliver some mercy. That will beat back this high pressure eventually. It will beat it back. So we're looking at cold nights still this week. Prolonged cold spell in February, and we haven't got the snow we're hoping for, but still at least we're seeing on the horizon something that might help to start making up for it, and especially if this stays as a pattern, which there's more out there. This guy's probably going to want to follow this guy, which is probably, these guys are probably going to come together and follow these guys. So we might come into the train of storms again in the springtime, which is fantastic. We need a lot of it. Hard to say exactly what this will all look like next week at this time. There's a reason why we're not really zooming in and guessing too much at any specific location, because it's a week out. But this is good sign. This is good sign for us. And what's really a good sign is when you let the graphic keep playing, it tends to show a continuation of this for us. And that's what we want. We want pile the snow on, big time snow. It's good for the resorts. It's good for the mountains. It's good for the trees. It's good for the bears that are sleeping up there to be buried even better. It's good for all the fun that we're going to have in the mountains, for all the snowboarders and skiers and sledders. We want nice, beautiful, a little bit warmer would be nice, so we'll take that too. We'll go to 2D here for a second so we can see some temperature guesses now. Ooh, wouldn't that be nice to see some at 1700 hours, see some -3s and -9s and things like that in the interior. That would be so great. Into the storm train, probably starting next week. Probably repeat systems when it arrives. Boof, boof, boof. Again, this is far out, but I think there's good reason to think that this will happen. I think the signs are there, and I said that already, like quite, at the beginning of the month, that we're probably looking halfway through the month before we see a change, and this would be that change we're looking for. Anyways, I'll be back at you, I think, tomorrow night with a bunch of stories, a bunch of weather stories. We'll look at some of the people from Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers pictures from this last week and contributions. And we'll look across Canada. We'll look a little further, a little deeper. But, I just wanted to put that out there that, yeah, she's dry, she's cold. It kind of sucks right now, but it's not necessarily going to be like that forever. Hit like, share, subscribe. Join the channel if you would so enjoy doing. And on this side here, this is where you can find the video coming up here in a second of the sled dogs here in Wells today. And I'm probably going to go out there tomorrow with the kids, and maybe we'll put the drone up in the air even and try to get an aerial shot of the dogs fly. Wouldn't that be if it doesn't disturb them too much? So maybe I'll have to fly high. We'll see if we can pull that off. So things tomorrow to look forward to, at least in the channel. More sled dog talk and more weather talk. Yes. So join us again. Okay, that's me for tonight. Bye now.